It is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to be chairing IWMI in this milestone 40th year of its existence. IWMI has made remarkable achievements in these years, and the former chairs and director generals have had major role to play in where it stands today. Each one of them have added in terms of commitment, loyalty, innovative thinking, new ways of tackling the water challenges. We look back on these 40 years as really remarkable in delivering what IWMI set itself out to do. Later in this video, you are going to hear from these remarkable people who have led IWMI through the last 40 years.
Starting up the Institute, developing it and so that it could grow geographically in funding and in program. I think that was very significant. And then, of course, joining the CGIAR.
We were able to both stabilise the budget and also attract some quite new and large amounts of donor funding.
I proposed to do the integrated assessment of water management for agriculture. And then I mobilized the money for that, and we put David Molden in charge to run that. And in the end, of course, IWMI got the Stockholm Water Prize for that. So I'm, collectively pretty proud for that.
I am most proud of the work I did with the comprehensive assessment of water management and agriculture.
By 2012, when I left, we'd almost doubled our income.
One is the consolidation of IWMI's lead role in the CGIAR Water, Land and Ecosystems program, which sort of cemented IWMI as the sort of lead on water within the CGIAR system.
The establishment of satellite projects in half a dozen countries.
Inspiring.
I would say in both cases, challenging.
And it was fantastic.
Word for me is transformative.
Teamwork.
Change and growth.
Continuing strong record of achievement.
It was a very tumultuous and challenging time, but it was also very rewarding.
We developed a new strategy that I was very excited about. It was very much focused on water security in the context of climate change. We expanded the leadership team and created what was, at that point, by far the most inclusive and diverse leadership team that IWMI had ever had.
An easy one in the sense that we won the Stockholm Water Prize.
One of them that never got enough publicity was learning how to keep the irrigations canals flowing with water to avoid malaria, and it reduced malaria by a huge amount.
The partnerships that it's developed across a range of different organizations.
I do think the thrust back then for more food with less water was a really important one, and it actually had some very tangible and significant achievements.
As the first DG, with a check, I believe from the Ford Foundation, for about, I think it was $20,000. That $20,000 was the beginning of the Institute. 3.5 years later, when I left, we had a budget of several $1 million.
The first was the challenge of sustainability. Until the 70s or 80s, there was the impression that water was unlimited.
Growing enough food without enough water, right, is a challenge.
But we do know one thing, that we've invested in infrastructure, and dams and canals and pipe systems and water saving and water storage.
Water quality and pollution, and indeed the use of natural ecosystems, wetlands particularly, has been a huge threat to the survival, frankly, of all of us.
Inequity of access and supply of water has to be on the top.
Water can also be an early casualty of war, of national and cross-border conflict.
When I got to IWMI, I was faced with a number of financial sort of problems and hurdles that we had to jump over. But I think, in hindsight, the most critical thing was the fact that both I and my colleagues needed to really have that external focus, looking towards our critical stakeholders and working closely in the countries we were engaged with the senior public servants, the scientists, and the politicians who were managing water.
No one could have foreseen the beginning of the pandemic, the bombings, the ongoing challenge of the broader CG reforms. These were all external to IWMI and difficult. So I would tell myself, don't worry, this extraordinary institution will find its way through from strength to strength. And I think I would tell myself, enjoy.
You know, I was very young at the time. I think I was 40 when I became DG. So with the benefit of hindsight, I would say, listen more, communicate better.
After that comprehensive assessment was launched, and that kind of raised this the stature of IWMI about water globally. And I would have said work harder at that, keeping that water on the global agenda.
I think that balance between discovery and application of science is going to be something that all the DGs need to keep in mind.
Really important to always check in on the health and support the staff.
That's an easy one. Made friends for life.
It was a great place to work, and in reality, I think we had some great people there who sort of managed these sort of behind the scenes.
Working with colleagues, say at IWMI, for all different countries from different backgrounds, I think that was a source of inspiration for the ideas that were generated.
I liked the collegial teamwork. We had a very friendly group that liked to work together.
The leadership development program that we set up, and the whole idea was we were going to show that national staff could become regional staff could become international staff, and junior international staff could become senior managers.
It was just a wonderful place. I mean, and the dedication and enthusiasm of the staff there, both in their professional work, but also in the way they socialize together and engage together.
Is that we can be louder with the innovations that IWMI scientists produce.
To have a secure funding source. And a secure funding is not just project funding, it's core funding.
To be more impactful in the things that matter.
Really, I'm keen for IWMI to continue to increase its emphasis on communications and policy outcomes based on an excellent base of research for development.
When you look back in another 40 years' time or something, you can feel proud of the contribution of building capacity of local institutions, research organizations, to manage water for a water secure world.
As IWMI looks now to the future, we celebrate not just our past, but the vibrant, strong organization we are today, poised to tackle the challenges of food security, climate change, and future water security. We look ahead now with a clear sense of purpose and renewed optimism. Our new strategy builds on our experiences and positions us to address emerging challenges and seize new opportunities. It's a testament to the dedication of IWMI's leaders over 4 decades and to the commitment and expertise of our staff, past and present, our partners and donors, whose passion and purpose have driven our mission forward and continue to do so today. Thank you for being part of our journey, and we invite you to join us as we embark on this exciting new chapter, driving action and propelling change.